I think we are part of our own demise at the end of the day. We definitely have so many opportunities to make us the main character. And we seem to still want to go over there to the other side and get approval from over there. And it's not the same if it's not approved by over there. One day we'll get to the point of realizing our true power and honing in on that, and we'll be unstoppable if ever we get to that point. First things first, what's hot in these blogs? Let's talk about Kendrick and this pop-up show that he had on Juneteenth out here in Cali, in Inglewood at the Forum. And it was announced probably like 2 weeks or so before it happened. And it was called the Pop-Out, Ken and Friends. And tickets went on sale. It was like 100,000 people in the queue waiting for tickets. It was a big deal, you know, since this whole Drake and Kendrick beef. Kendrick, I think it's safe to say this beef probably made him even bigger than he was. And this show was definitely a representation of that. And also it showed that it's bigger than the beef at this point. What Kendrick did at that show that no one was expecting, at the end, he, in essence, united the West. You know, when it comes to like the West Coast, it's heavily like divided at times, like whether it's gang culture or just like sections and areas, and that's just kind of like what it is. Like, and on that stage that night, Kendrick was able to bring out, I don't know if it was like the leaders of each section or just like representatives or just like the OGs from each part of California that will probably normally not be in the same room together. He was able to bring them together on stage, and it was a sight to see. It was a sight to see. And like I mentioned, it just makes it bigger than rap beef. Like if something like this could come out of that, it was a big W for the West. For sure. And Not Like Us, that song is like taking on a life of his own. I don't even know if Kendrick thought it would have the life that it's having when he put it out. I think it's arguably the biggest song in the country right now in terms of hip hop. And that's not just in the West. Back in New York, it's the same thing, but Not Like Us, come on. People turning up. Sometimes you got to pop out and show. Nah. But yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up with Kendrick. And even without having another song, because I still felt like, I think the beef is probably like done with, I think, for now. But I feel like it left on like a cliffhanger. And I felt personally like I wanted another song from Kendrick. But at this point, I feel like he don't even have to put out another song. And even without putting out another song, he's still not taking his foot off of Drake's neck, apparently, because Not Like Us, you can't go nowhere without hearing it. I can't think of the last time a diss song had this big of an impact. Probably not since like the Biggie and Tupac beef. And the Jay-Z and Nas situation with Ether and the Takeover and Hit 'Em Up and Who Shot You, like this is up there with those. And it's been some time since we had those. So it's a good look. It's definitely a good look. And he just shot a video to it. And so once that video come out, I think that's gonna have it even pick up even more steam, like visuals tend to do. So you're not taking his foot off that boy neck anytime soon. And if it was any debate about who won this battle, this rap beef, I think it's safe to say who got it, just because of the impact that's showing right now with this. Shouts to Kendrick, and yeah, let's unite more. Let's unite more. Maybe similar to how Drake and Meek Mill, they had their little beef and then they ended up coming together and creating music. Maybe the same thing could happen at some point with Kendrick and Drake. Maybe. We'll see. But we're going to move on to what else is hot in these blogs. Let's talk about Swizz Beatz and Timbaland. They are bringing verses over to X, aka Twitter. And it's not getting the best reactions. And it's due to who owns Twitter now? Elon Musk. And Elon Musk has been doing some questionable things. And we live in an era where anything you say will be held against you in the court of public opinion. And we don't forget nothing. We not like letting stuff slide. Whereas in the past, maybe some of these things that Elon has been saying or doing probably would have flown under the radar. And maybe people wouldn't have been paying attention to it so much. Not these days. And people are gonna let you know. They're gonna call you out on it. So when Swizz Beatz and Timbaland made this announcement that they was coming over to X, it wasn't met with like all praise. Bishop Talbert Swan, who's a pastor, activist, and he's also the president of the Greater Springfield NAACP, he responded and said, so the real Swizz and Timbaland have partnered with Elon Musk to distribute Versus TV. The same Elon Musk who calls DEI racism, promotes racist pseudoscience, boosts posts containing anti-Black racism. The same Elon Musk who hid likes on X after being dragged for liking racist posts. The same Elon Musk who condemns critical race theory and wokeness, quote unquote. The same Elon Musk who attacked Black doctors and pilots as unqualified, who restored accounts of white supremacists, who said Black people needs to move on and stop talking about racism, who ran ads on white power and other hateful hashtags. They said, but hey, white supremacists are making money off Black labor with Black folks overseeing them on behalf of the oppressor. Oppressor is the American way. Real classy announcing this on Juneteenth. Congrats, fellas. And that sentiment is being echoed across social media. The fact that this announcement was made on Juneteenth, some people feel like it was like a slap in the face. Isaac Hayes III, he has his own platform called Fanbase, and he responded to the announcement. I guess people were asking him why they didn't come to Fanbase, and he said, don't ask me why Swizz Beatz and Timbaland took verses to X and Elon and not Fanbase. That's irrelevant at this point. It's unfortunate that we still feel our only option is to be used rather than build our own. For the culture doesn't mean what it used to. Yeah, and rightfully so, rightfully so. I think we are part of our own demise at the end of the day. We definitely have so many opportunities to make us the main character. And we seem to still want to go over there to the other side and get approval from over there. And it's not the same if it's not approved by over there. And that goes for like award shows, that goes for charts, that goes for different accolades. It's like, if it's not accepted by the other side, then it's not good enough or something, apparently. one day we'll get to the point of realizing our true power and honing in on that, and we'll be unstoppable if ever we get to that point. Some comments on Swizz Beatz post, because after receiving some of the initial pushback, Swizz posted on his Instagram, he wrote on the picture, "We will show you better than tell you." Someone said, "I mean, I guess it's cool to show us, but don't play in our faces and act like folks don't have a valid reason to question this partnership." Someone else said, "Putting verses on a platform where the owner repeatedly belittles and degrades Black people and promotes bigotry against Muslims is a weird move." Most of the comments on Swizz Beatz posts is along those lines, and rightfully so. Someone said, "Many people are not on X due to the current owner. I'm not in your tax bracket, so I can't give you business advice. However, I do feel that listening to regular people who helped you guys get to the level of success you are will get you more money and further." Swizz responded to that. He said, "You will see my intentions as always. We must change what we don't like, not complain about it. We go hard since the 90s. People will soon see the plan. I understand that people have questions, and they will also understand I'm not a silly person." So according to Swizz, he has his reasons why he's doing this. And in a nutshell, he's saying, we will see soon. I'm not sure. But aside from the fact that it's on this platform that's now owned by Elon Musk, and the many reasons why that's probably not the greatest idea from the outside looking in, are people really still checking for verses is what I wonder. Verses at its time, which was like peak pandemic, when everybody was in the crib, couldn't really go nowhere, this kind of came about. And at one point, it was the biggest thing happening on social media. Over 1 million users watching at certain times during certain artists' verses, where people were like looking forward to seeing who was the next verses gonna be. Like, it was like a whole thing, a whole event situation. I personally feel like that ship might have sailed. Is it just me? Are people really still gonna be tapped in to see the verses? People outside now. So I'm not all the way sure it's gonna have the same viewership it had. Time will tell. But yeah, I'm not sure. Is it just me? Y'all let me know. Do y'all think the ship has sailed for verses? Are y'all still checking for it and looking forward to seeing who else is gonna be on there at this point? Y'all let me know what y'all think. We're gonna move on. What else is hot in these blogs? Brandy and Monica have fully healed. Monica says they have joined together on this duet, a new duet. They featured on the remix of Ariana Grande's song called "The Boy Is Mine," where Ariana says that her creating that song was inspired by the original "The Boy Is Mine" by Brandy and Monica. It don't sound nothing like it, but she was inspired by it. And then she put out the music video a few weeks ago, and Brandy and Monica made a cameo appearance in the music video as like news reporters. And probably a week later, they announced this remix. And it's dope to hear them back on a song together. I didn't understand that they still had unresolved issues in the from the past, apparently. But that was the case. And Monica recently did an interview where she said, speaking on their relationship and repairing it, she said, "We recognized that the key was to keep people out of our relationship, both business and personal, and let it be between she and I. And that has changed everything. It's changed the trajectory of it in its totality. She said, my son was in a hospital the other day, and she is who I was speaking to while he was there. So I think that is what Ariana has done that she may not even realize. She said, but this time I thank God for growth and change and just becoming a mom and experience a lot of what I have and learning to properly communicate. The process of the new collaboration did a lot of closing the gaps. When you properly communicate something, you can find not only the resolutions of solutions to problems, but sometimes you find that they weren't ever really problems, just consistent miscommunications. It made it a lot easier just to talk. But I didn't know that they had issues still. They did a verses, speaking of verses, and it was a little like people had things to say about it. It was a little like awkward moments at times and stuff, but it was like I thought they were good. But apparently now they are really good. So it's dope to see. And Monica, people asked her, is she open to possibly a new collab with Brandy where it's just them? And she said anything is possible. We spoke about a few weeks ago, them Ray J wanting to put them together on a tour. Maybe that could be a part of these discussions they've been having. Monica said that her and Brandy talked more the past 4 weeks than they have, I think, ever, she said. So it's dope. It's dope. But fat shouts to Brandy and Monica. We're going to move on. What else is hot in these blogs? Last but not least, and far from last, Sha'Carri Richardson. Fat shouts to Sha'Carri Richardson. She has just made a personal best, I think, in this race. She has qualified for her first Olympic Games after winning the 100-meter final on Saturday. Sha'Carri finished in first place with the time of 10.71, the fastest time in a 100-meter in the world this year. And what makes this dope is the fact that during the last Olympics, it was this 100-meter race that Sha'Carri was ultimately disqualified from because she tested for marijuana at the time. They found marijuana in her system. You know, that whole scandal situation that happened during the last Olympics. And Sha'Carri has made a turnaround. She has kept her head down and put in the work. So it's always dope to see a redemption happen. And if it's anybody deserving of this that we're witnessing, it's Sha'Carri. And I'm personally looking forward to seeing her at the Olympics this year and seeing her make history. That's how you do it. Kendrick said, sometimes you got to pop out and show. And that's what Sha'Carri's doing right now. She's showing you better than she could tell you. So fat shouts to Sha'Carri and see you at the Olympics. And that is going to conclude what's hot in the blogs for this week.